Well, hello, butterflies. Thank you for joining me today on my little corner of YouTube. If this is your first time here, or if you've been before, let me just reintroduce myself. My name is Rin, and I love to talk about things that hopefully help us as women, especially, lower our levels of chronic stress and lean more into peace, ease, joy, and freedom for ourselves. Because when we fill our own vessels, we can pour out to the folks that we love. And if we don't do that, if we don't take care of ourselves as a priority, we're not going to be quite as able to do all the things that we want to do for other folks. Or at least we won't do those things as well. And if I'm being completely honest, if we haven't taken care of ourselves first and we pour out to others anyway, am I the only one who might get some resentment out of that? Who might feel like, I am meeting the needs of all these other people and they don't appreciate it, or they just want more, whatever it is. And I think that's something that is really a little bit more on us if we haven't done the foundational work first to be our best selves in order to give back, if that makes sense. So, how do we do that? One of the ways that we can do that, even if we are someone who is just such a people pleaser, such a selfless person by nature, that's awesome. That's really amazing. And I'm not like that, but I know a lot of people who are, and I think that they're truly just the most lovely, heart-forward folks. And a lot of the people that I know who tend to be more generous in that way are less likely to care for themselves first. It's not something they're denying themselves of consciously. It's just not something that they think about because that's not part of their personality. So let me make this really simple. You are enough. You are enough already. There's nothing you have to do, no goal you have to reach, no anything. You don't have to look a certain way, none of that stuff to be enough already, to be beautiful in the eyes of God and beautiful in the folks that you care for, who love you. And taking care of yourself has to be the very first thing you do. I'm repeating myself. Let me say this. One of the ways, the very simple ways that we don't often think about, that we can pour into ourselves before we pour out to others, is simply by closing our eyes and taking a few really deep breaths. We, as a society as a whole, often breathe right up here. We're breathing to live. The breath is always there. The breath is involuntary. It happens on its own. We don't even have to think about it. And yet, the breath is something we can actually control. We can control how we breathe. We can control the length of the inhale and the exhale. And so one way to lower our level of stress in a chaotic moment, or if you've just had some news that was kind of rocked your world a little bit and you need to just sort of come back to center, the breath will help you do that. And so I'm going to count us back from 3, 2, 1, and then we're just going to do this. We're going to inhale for 4 counts, and then we're going to exhale for 6. And when you do that, when you exhale a little bit longer than your inhale, you really allow the nervous system to say, Okay, we are calm, we are safe, we are okay. That's it. That's all there is to it. And just do it a few times and then move on about your day. And if you start to get into more of a habit of doing this, when you think about it and you're having a moment of just unrest, it'll start to become something you think of more often. And hopefully, those situations will become less frequent where you need to do the breath because you are in a habit of doing the breath, if that makes sense. It does work. It will. Okay, here we go. I would invite you to wherever you are, come into a nice, comfortable seated position. Maybe you're on the floor. If you're in a chair, just put your feet flat on the floor together. Maybe closing the eyes, just softening the gaze if you don't want to close your eyes completely. And I'm going to count us back from 3, 2, 1. And I would just invite you to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding the breath at the top. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I meant to say 6. Let's do that again. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding at the top. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 rounds and I'm feeling calmer already. I would suggest that this is something you might use, something that you can impart onto your partners, your teenagers, your children, your siblings, your friends, your community members. It's as simple as just being aware of the breath and not just letting it be just this automatic thing that we always do, which it is, but you can kind of concentrate on the breath. And while you're concentrating on the breath, just giving that mental space to what is happening with your inhale and your exhale, you're in the present moment, my friend, because you can't worry about the to-do list from yesterday that you didn't do yet. And you can't worry about, I got to go to carpool in an hour and I'm running behind. When you're in that moment of just the inhale and the exhale, you're in the present. You are just in this moment right here, my friend. And the more we lean into being in this present moment right here, the more beneficial it's going to be for us. The better things start to get. And even when things are icky, we handle them differently when we are in a better place in our nervous system. We have less of a tendency to go, I can't handle this, and more of a tendency, hopefully, to react more as if you would say something along the lines of, okay, here's what happened. I'm just going to breathe through this a minute and we'll figure it out. Okay? I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I hope that you will leave a comment if this is something that you found was helpful. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Thank you for being here, butterflies, and I will talk to you soon.